Has 222 roll lock just been leaked? Also, an incredibly annoying bug has been fixed, and there's a brand new subtitle system in the game, which is fantastic for accessibility. But could this be abused to gain an advantage? Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the channel. I am Stylosa. Alright, let's get stuck into this. So, we've got this article here. This is from Upcomer, and it is... well, it's saying that 222 is coming to Overwatch League in Stage 4. Now, if that is true, that is absolutely monumentally huge. If we ignore all of the other implications before we get into this, if you change the meta in the final stage of a season, which, you know, that's going to dictate a lot of playoff spots, but you could have a situation again where the team which is dominant throughout the entire season, well, we've actually got two teams that are dominant this season. So we've got San Francisco Shock and we've got the Vancouver Titans, the best GOATS teams in the league by a mile, right? And GOATS is obviously the comp that we're seeing most of in Overwatch League. If you suddenly change it and lock the metas to 222, you can't play GOATS anymore. Does it mean that like a London Spitfire come through again and just win the league at the end? And is that really fair? You know, such a fundamental change? I don't know, but that's a debate for a completely different video. All right, let's get stuck into this and what this means for us. Okay, so this is what they say. Multiple sources inside the Overwatch League have informed Upcomer that the rumored 222 lock will be implemented for Stage 4 of this year's season. At this time, it is not known if the change will be implemented into the game at large. Okay, right, let's discuss this, because I don't... This is Overwatch League, this is the live game, and for a while now, the devs have been trying to bring parity to both. They want them to be the same. What they want is Overwatch League to be the thing we aspire to. It's like, wow, this is the way Overwatch should be played. These are all the best players, awesome team comps. Yeah, man, we should play like this. But when they're playing on the patch behind us, which happened in the past, you remember, like with the Mercy meta, they were like still using Mercy, even when Mercy got really heavily nerfed, so she was not that great on live servers. But people would watch Overwatch League, not realize there's a difference, and think, okay, I'm going to do that, but that actually doesn't work on live. That was not great. So what they did is they brought the patches as close together as possible. So now we pretty much have parity. What Overwatch League are playing is kind of what we see on live most of the time, right? So it does make more sense. The thing is, why would you introduce a 222 lock? And then, like, so you're forcing the meta at the pro level, but not introduce it to the live game. They 100% will this will just be part of the live game because of the reasons I've just outlined. You can't have the pros playing a completely different system to what we're playing. And the only way to really test the viability of this system is to do it at scale, is to go, right, 222, this is the way the game's going to be played now. Let's collect a bunch of data and see if it actually works, which I think is probably what's going to happen. Now, the thing with 222 is... it brings other things, doesn't it? Like, I mean, if all right, there's so much I want to say here, but it's like I'm really worried of going off on a crazy tangent. So what I'm going to do is bring in PvPX. Now, PvPX is a fantastically good Junkrat player, you probably know him as, but he plays other heroes as well to a ridiculously high level. We're talking like top 50, I think top 10 in some heroes, like insanely good. Anyway, he says this: unpopular opinion, Overwatch Ranked will be worse if roles are locked 222. A preferred role queue system to better balance lobbies based around the heroes people play would make competitive more enjoyable. Personally, I like 3-3, 4-1-1, etc. comps being an option. Well, 3-3 is the problem comp. That's why Blizzard are obviously changing. If this goes through, that's why they're doing it, to change it at the pro level, because they don't want GOATs, because it's not a great thing to watch, right? They want to see all of the like the DPS players make plays and the supports pop off and all of that kind of stuff. Well, you don't really see that really with GOATs. Well, sometimes you see the supports pop off, I guess, but you definitely don't see DPS plays. And you got to remember, at the end of the day, Overwatch is an FPS game, and people want to see these high energy, high skill moves, and you kind of don't see it. Well, it does happen with GOATs, but it happens in a different way. It's more nuanced. It's not very visually appealing, I guess, right? I don't know. Anyway, so this is interesting, right? Because what PvP is saying, I do agree with this. Well, I agree with bits of it. So 4-1-1 is exactly what I said to Jeff. In my head, that's what Overwatch is. You need a main tank, you need a main healer. The rest, you can kind of do whatever you like, right? And it's going to be okay. Because most of the games I lose on ladder, or not, sometimes you win these games, but the games that I'm really frustrated with playing in, and then I do not want to play any more competitive after, is when I go in, hero select, today I'm going to play McCree because he's been buffed and I want to play. Bang, I pick McCree. Oh, wait, we've also got, well, so I'm on McCree. We've got an Ashe, we've got a Genji, we've got a Hanzo, maybe we've got an Anna, and then we get a Roadhog. That is not a team comp. That is like, what the hell is that? But it could still win, right? But it doesn't have a main tank. It does have a main support, but it doesn't have a main tank. So then you get this awkward period where it's like, oh, God, I'm going to have to now change the hero. Oh, okay, guys, I'll play Orisa. But I don't really want to play Orisa. So I'm playing a game, and games are for fun, right? And I'm playing a role that I don't really want to play. That's why we need role select. And that's why things like 222 Force Meta could actually help that, because it enables role select, right? Because it says, look, one of the issues that Jeff had, and this was in the interview I did with him, is queue times. Now, if you restrict the number of classes of heroes in every game, so you've got 2 DPS, 2 supports, 2 tanks, yeah? That means 2 tanks will always go into a game, 2 supports, 2 DPS. Now, DPS, there's a lot of DPS heroes in the game. Most people probably want to play DPS, so they would have longer queue times. But if you restricted it to, let's say, 1 DPS on a team, it would be even more difficult for those people to find teams. So if you up it to 2, that's great. But then the thing is, if you up it to 3, it's even better, right? And who's to say that Overwatch wouldn't be a better game if you had 1 tank, 1 support, 4 DPS, right? Who even knows, right, what would happen to the game there? I think, though, the best of both worlds is to go the 2-2-2 route and then just see what happens. One of the other issues here as well is if you might have had fun with crazy comps. You might play with your friends and do crazy sort of stuff. That's not really going to be viable anymore, because you're going to have to play within the constraints of 2-2-2 if it becomes a thing. And the final thing I want to say on this, because I know I could just sit forever on role queue, 2-2-2 and whatever, is if it allows us to select our preferred hero on our profile page. So I can say, I like, let's say, preferred hero in each class. So let's say I like... let's just keep tanks for now instead of breaking them up into like main and off tanks and flex tanks or whatever. So if we go, I like Orisa, I like McCree for DPS, and I like Anna for support, right? Those are my preferred heroes. So if somebody looks at my profile, they can go, okay, this guy likes playing those heroes, so if he picks one of them in the game, we're going to be okay. But then what we need to see is a breakdown of SR for each individual hero, because I might be better with Reinhardt or with Orisa or with any main tank than I am with DPS, right? So I don't want to be in a level of tank game that I play at as DPS, because I'm not as good. So I should go into a different level queue. And we could theoretically go into a world where, let's say you've got an average player and they might be gold support, platinum DPS, let's say, and diamond tank, right? And that means that they'd be split up into those ranks, and that's what I want to see, and I think that would be incredibly cool. But yeah, 2-2-2, it looks like we're seeing more rumors about this now. We're seeing sources that Upcomer have got, and we've got no reason to just ignore what they say, because it is a fairly reputable website. So it's coming, right? And that means it's coming to the live game. All right, let's move on to some other stuff here. So the next thing we've got is Overwatch patch notes. Now, these are, so, it's not even aligned properly. Dear, oh dear. Production value is amazing. There we go. There we go. Awesome. Hang on, up a little bit. There we go, got it. Yeah. All right, patch notes. So the big annoying bug which has been fixed, which is a terribly annoying bug, is finally out of the way. It's this bad boy here. Fixed a bug that could cause players who have selected a hero during hero select phase to have their hero deselected when the match begins. Annoying as hell. So yeah. And sometimes I'll get my hero nicked, especially with McCree, because he's been buffed and everyone's trying to play him. It was like you pick him and you're like, yeah, I've got him. And then you just get deselected as everyone rolls out, and then somebody nicks your hero. Yeah, not good. Anyway, that's fixed. Sorry, that's great. The bulk of this update to the workshop, to the PTR though, is the workshop. A lot of this stuff is probably going to go way over our heads because, well, I'm not a workshop developer, and most of you guys out there, you just players of the game. But it's a lot to do with things like showing server load, CPU load, server load peak. All of this stuff will help people who make workshop mods make stable workshop mods that won't crash. So that's good, and I think it will help a hell of a lot with workshop development. The big thing, though, we get here is this. This is the subtitle system. And, well, this is awesome because it allows players who have got any kind of hearing difficulty, or maybe you've got a broken headset, I don't know. But it allows you to see what's going on when players use ultimate lines, when players use certain abilities, when players interact with each other. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you it, guys, just to end the video. All right, guys, so this is the new system. Now, under sound options, what you'll see is subtitles. Now, what we've got here is obviously none, so you can just turn them off. We've got critical gameplay plus conversations and everything. So I'm just going to stick it on everything for now, but obviously these are fairly self-explanatory. So like critical gameplay is going to be when enemies use ultimates, when your team use ultimates and stuff like that, and everything is just, well, everything. So let's go in and let's check this out. So what you'll see in the middle of the screen at the bottom is you can see Anna talking, you can see Lucio, that's not right, breathes, get down, Roadhog. A lot of this stuff it's too much information, at least I think, for it to be useful. But at least, if maybe you are hard of hearing or you actually are totally deaf, it means that you can, well, absolutely see what the heroes are saying, which is so cool, instead of maybe going into, like, I don't know, looking at one of the wiki sites, which is not great. Anyway, the big thing with this is does it give you an advantage, right? I don't know. Like, people are saying that, all right, so with Sombra coming out of Invis, it does show you, it's like, oh, look, Sombra's come out of Invis, and yeah. I mean, things like that, Soldier breathes, so you see, like, it says I'm sprinting, I'm stopping sprinting, it's like, ooh, Soldier breathes. It's like, it's too much information. If I drop down a healing station, you can see, it says absolute unit Soldier, team, heal up here. But you've got the prompts as well when people use ultimates and stuff like that. So there you go. My tactical visor is charging. My tactical visor is charging. Well, of course, that pops up in the chat anyway, so that's not that much of an issue. See, look, Roadhog, Zen even, experience tranquility. But let's see if we can see an enemy ultimate pop up in this, right? So I'm just going to spam shots into these guys, but I'm watching the bottom to see when the enemies do pop their ultimates. What's that? Zenyatta, well done. Our Hog's using his. Lucio. Let's show these guys up. I think our Lucio... That's actually weird that it doesn't show you the ultimate charge of bots. Okay, hang on. Soldier breathing heavily. He's always breathing heavily. The soldier is doing a lot of running. All right, I'll use my attack visor. You can see it. Like, I've got you in my sights. Beautiful tracking. I love the smell of pulse munitions in the morning. You're damn right he does. Heal up. It's cool. I think this is actually really cool. I mean, in terms of, is it going to give you an advantage? I mean, if you're like an ultra high level player, there's probably going to be, you know, maybe you want it on, if we changed it to just like, we change it to just critical gameplay and conversations. So like now we don't see things like when we're emoting and waving and saying hello. We don't see anything like that. But what we will see is if I do this. Actually, no, we don't see that, but we do see that. That's May's ultimate going off. Freeze, don't move. I mean, maybe that needs to be a bit more pronounced. Maybe that actually does need to show like the ultimate icon or something in the bottom, because like, how would we know that she's using it just off a random voice line? Even I wouldn't. Like, and I've heard these voice lines forever. Like, May shouting that out and reading it. Hey, I don't know. But it's good, though, guys, right? It's kind of in line with stuff like the colorblind options that we got a while back. It's all good to see accessibility stuff added to the game, because it means more people can play Overwatch, and that's a good thing. If this is, like, unfair or gives you an advantage, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, it's worth having it in the game, even if that it did give you some sort of insane advantage. Because, yeah, it's beautiful. All right, guys, I'm in Stylosa, this is Unit Lost. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, remember you can follow me on Twitter, which is @Stylosa. It's also @Stylosa on Instagram. And I will catch you absolutely lovely lot on the next one. Toodaloo. Die, mate. Yeah.